Hello, family. It's me again. We are going to be talking about a very interesting subject tonight. You probably noticed the title was Man is Fearfully and Wonderfully Made. How many of you know what that means? What was God? Why did he put that in the Bible? What did he mean by that? And tonight, when we finish tonight, you're gonna have a whole new outlook. You're gonna understand more why he said that. And it is interesting. I've been waiting all day long. I just been thinking about it. And I just want y'all to know God is a wonderful God. He is a great big God. There is nothing that God didn't allow it to happen. We are serving a great, big, wonderful God. And I am so glad to be a part of his family. We're going to be talking tonight on the subject, you know, that God, man is wonderfully and fearfully made. And I'm going to do a few little illustrations tonight. I just want to show you how much we take for granted. We don't even see the magnificence of God. Every morning when I wake up, just about every morning, I say the same thing. God, you woke me up. I was asleep. I was unconscious. And somehow I just woke up, my eyes open. How did you do that? And where do you sleep? I mean, how do we go on? Do you know when you sleep, you're unconscious? You might dream, but you're unconscious. And then God will just wake us up in the morning. I love him. I love him. I love him. I just appreciate him. And the more I think about him, the more I realize how magnificent he is, how powerful he is. And I'm gonna show you some things tonight. Now, most of you have never looked at it this way, you never thought of it this way, but I guarantee you, when we're finished, you're gonna have a whole new outlook. You're going to love God more than you've ever loved him before when you realize what he has done and how he has done it. Probably won't be before you're too long, but we just want to run through. I want to ask you a question. When we talk, how do we know what? Are we listening to another person talk? How do we know what they're saying? How we just making a noise? If you would talk to a person in another country who doesn't speak English, you're just making a bunch of noise to them. But you know, God has given us the ability to understand these noises that we make. And I'm gonna tell you something. We're gonna do a little demonstration tonight, and you're gonna say, "What is this man talking about?" But I want you to just try it. Do you know we cannot talk without our tongue? Without your tongue, you just be you couldn't make sounds. You could make sounds, but you couldn't make them where people can understand them. I want you to play a little game with me for just a minute. I want you to do it. Ready? You're gonna say this man is crazy, but you're going to understand. All right. What I want you to do, you can do it one or two ways. I want you to lick your tongue out. Then I want you to grab it and hold it, keep it out, and I want you to try to say something. Go ahead, just try, and you'll just be and you'll just be nobody would understand what you say. How many times we think about that when we talk? That tongue, the tongue, make the sound. Oh boy! And sometimes I tell people to do that, or just lick your tongue out, bite, put your teeth on your tongue. Just try it, and then keep it down. Don't bite your tongue. You to say something and watch. Oh, God is a wonderful God. We are fearfully and wonderfully made. A bunch of flesh. And I'm talking to you from long distance, and you are able to hear everything that I say. You can even see me. I can't see you, but you can see me. And that's technology. But God just gave man the ability to do things like that. Sometimes I think about an airplane. You know how we got an airplane? Man made it. Do you know we are little gods? Oh, I just lost the whole audience now. But God made us to create. He created us, and now he wants us to create. God didn't come down and just pat his hand and just mold a plane the way it is. Man, God gave man that ability. Out of these things that we call the brain, that man know how to put all that metal together. And sometimes when you're flying, I know when I'm flying, how in the world is all of this weight going to get up off of the ground? But it's because God has given man the ability to create. Look around the world. Look at what we have. Look at these buildings. All of these bricks, just one on top of another, and they go way up in the sky. I mean, how can that be? Because we are little gods. I know y'all gonna take that wrong. You know I wouldn't play with God, but that's how God made us. He made us in his image. Okay, maybe that'll make more sense to you. All right. So again, I hope you didn't bite your tongue. But just do stuff like that. And we can hear. You can hear me. And my voice is going into your eardrums. And you can hear what I'm saying. And then now try to figure out, how does that happen? Okay, let's get started here on what I want to do tonight. I want to ask you a question. I just like I said, we're gonna play a game. It's gonna look like a game, but it's great. It's a great learning tool. I'm gonna ask you, I'm gonna give you a test tonight, and I just want to see how many of you can pass it. I know I couldn't. I had to do some research because I wanted to know what I was talking about. Okay, number one, we're going to talk to you about 8 subjects. Okay, number one, how many times per day do you bat your eyes? And even while we are talking, you're batting your eyes. But we do it so much, we don't even realize we're batting our eyes. Now, I went on the internet and I checked it out. And I knew it was way up there, but I didn't know it was like it is. Okay, how many times per day do we blink our eyes? Now, based on what I got off the internet, it says that we bat our eyes 15 to 20 times per minute. We bat our eyes 1,200 times per hour. We bat our eyes per day 28,800 times. Have you ever thought about that? And you bat them and don't even realize that you're batting them. But if you didn't bat your eyes, well, let me go back a minute. The eyelids to the eye is what windshield wiper is to a car. It keeps your eyeballs clear. It keeps them wet. And it keeps dust from going into it. Now you tell me there ain't a God somewhere. This is some good stuff you got. And I looked at that and I said, my God, can you imagine 28,800 times a day we bat our eyes, and yet we don't even realize we're batting them. And right now, I just want you to think about it. Try to keep your eyes open without batting them. You won't last long. And it just keep your eyes moist. Keep them not being dry-eyed. Some people have dry eyes, and it's just very irritating. But the reason we don't have scratchy eyes is because the moisture that's in our eyes, our eyelid just keep it going, just like the windshield wiper, cleaning your windshield. Okay. Let me see. The eyelids are to the body. I think I told you that. What windshield wipers are to our car. Okay. I hope you guys are not eating, because if you if you are, you're gonna turn this off because it's gonna get kind of messy here. Okay. Okay. I've asked myself this. My wife tells me, she said, "Wait, don't nobody think like you." I've asked myself this. Okay, in our nose, all of us get a booger. What is a booger? And why did God create our bodies to create boogers in our nose? Okay, how many of you know the answer? Okay, put your hand down. I don't want you to tell no lie. You know, what a booger is actually, I'll try to break it down. What it is we breathe in dust. And what happens is our nose, our nostrils are full of uh, 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 air. And what they do is they dry, they keep, how to put it, it's just wet dirt. I'll say that. It just makes it, because breathing in dust all day long, and your nostrils, the hairs in your nose, take it and just make it out of what we call a booger. And it's nothing really, and it sounds so bad, but it's nothing but wet dirt, wet dust that we breathe in. The same is true with your ears. Why do we have hair in our ears? And hair in our ears, uh, they keep the dust from going in, going real deep into our ears. They keep the pollen. I'm sorry, let me say it again. They keep the pollen and dust from traveling to our lungs. So everything, God did all of this. God knew this. And so when they go into our, oh boy, I'm trying to make this thing real simple. But that's what happens in our ears. That's why we get wax in our ears. We call it wax, but it's nothing but wet dirt. What do the hair on our arms do? Why are they on our arms? And why do we have hair on our faces? And some of you probably remember, because I taught on this before, but it's just so interesting. Have you ever thought about why do we have hair on our heads? See, when God made man, I'm sure, hopefully most of you know this, God made man naked. And what he intended for man to do, man was not intended to wear clothes. It wasn't God's purpose for man to wear clothes. We wear clothes because Eve disobeyed God. And Adam and Eve didn't even know they was naked. But one day God walked in the garden. He would talk to them every day. And he asked, "Where are you?" And they said, "We hid." God said, "You hid?" As if he didn't know why. "Why did you hide?" He said, "Because we was naked." God said, "Who told you you was naked?" He said, "Adam, Eve, did y'all eat off the tree that I told you not to eat out? I told you if you eat out of it, you're going to know good from evil. Did you do that?" And then she started saying, "Yeah, but the serpent. Okay, the serpent can cause you to lose a lot of things. That's why we wear clothes today. But that's still some countries today that go naked. But in this country, we put on our clothes. Oh boy, this. When I think about this, it just I say, God, you are magnificent. I mean, and you are awesome. Seems like that's not a good enough word, but God is great. And so God made man to work. Now, women, you was not supposed to work. Your job was to stay in the house, to be a mother, to keep the house and keep the kids and feed everybody. But a man's job was to go out into the field and work. naked. Okay, let me try to explain to you what the hair is. The hairs on our head is there to absorb sweat. If you don't believe it, cut all your hair off. Go out in the sun, work in the sun, work under the sun for a time, for a few hours, and watch what happens. All of that sweat runs all down in your face, all down your neck, and you just get wet. But the hair is there to absorb some of it. Even when you got hair, you can still sweat some. But if you didn't have hair, I mean, it would just like drown you. Okay? And what I want you to do now is I want you to, you probably can't see it now because you're not in the mirror, but just think about your eyebrows. Next time you go to a mirror, why do we have eyebrows up above our eyes? Huh? You ever thought about that? But if you notice, the eyebrows are not straight across, they like curved. And that is there also when the man sweats. If it wasn't for his eyebrows, the sweat would run down in his eyes. So God has got it where it'll channel the sweat right around his eyes. Some of it still might get in there, but not the whole thing. Same thing with your eyelashes. They are your eyelashes, they are designed to keep dust out of your eyes. And why do men have mustache and women don't? Now I know. Oh, I know what y'all say. I don't know what you're talking about because some women have mustache. That is true. But as a rule, most women don't. Why did God give a man mustache and then give it to a woman? Because, like I say, woman's job was not to get out in that sun and work. Hers was to keep the house. But and the reason we have our mustache men, again, I want you to look at them. If you notice, they curve right around, and that's to keep sweat and mucus out of your mouth. That's to channel the water. It's just that's what happened. You just go right around your mouth. And like I said, you might get a little bit in your mouth, but for the most part, it's going to go around your mouth. And it just, I think about like the, let me see here where I want to go. I think about hair on the arms. What is that hair on the? I asked God. I'm just curious. God, why do I have hair under my arms? Why is it that I don't have it when I'm a kid? But as I grow up, I grow hairs under my arm. Again, if you've been listening to me, you know the answer. Because the hairs on your arm absorb some of the sweat. If you don't believe it, cut off all your hair under your arm and go out there and work outside and watch what happens to you. I mean, you're just sloppy wet. But those hairs are there to absorb the moisture. Oh, this is good. I love it. And I've been thinking about it all day. I said, well, I can't wait to get on tonight because I can just see this thing. And I pray to God that I can make you sleep better. Okay. Why did God make man and woman to be so different? You ever thought about that? Man and woman, we are totally different. We don't think alike. We don't. When somebody say man is from Mars and the women from Jupiter, whatever the planet they say it is, now we know that's not physically true, but the principle is there. God gave a woman a mind and he gave man a mind, but they function different for the most part. That's one of the reasons so many of our marriage couples have trouble because we absorb things different. We hear things different. We process it different. Sometimes I can say something to my wife. To me, it is so clear, but she hears it totally different. And I ask her sometimes, I say, how in the world did you get that out of what I just said? I can say, I'm going to the store. I'll be back. Okay. And she'll if I come back late, I mean, her mind is saying, okay, you're gonna go to the store, and you know, and you either gonna come back real soon or you're not gonna come back soon. But the man didn't say either. But we have to learn. We have to learn how to process. We have to learn how to understand one another. And one of the ways that I want you to do, I want you to try this, especially your husband and your wife. It's good for everybody, but especially for the husband and your wife. When every night, now my wife and I, every night, we go into the bedroom and we have our little Bible study. Every night, I've written 8 books, and if you guys want to, are you interested in them, go on to my website, or they call it, well, you know, just go online, and you can get them from Amazon, or you can get them from Barnes and Nobles, and so they that's how you can get the books, and they're interesting. It's really interesting. It's 8 of them, and they are all really, really, really interesting. I'm not saying it because I wrote them, but I've heard other people really love them, and they've told me a lot of times I need to be getting on what I'm doing right now. I need to be teaching these books, you know, but I don't teach them all the time. But sometimes I do teach them. All right. Let's get back to why did God make man and woman so different? Let's deal with that. But before I forget, let me say, the way to keep from misunderstanding each other is ask these questions every night. Ask your wife, husbands, or husband, wives. Ask them, have I done anything to you today to hurt you? Okay, that's the husband leads off. You ought to do is sitting around the table. Just let's say 6 o'clock. That's our time to just stop and let's talk to each other. Is there anything that I have done today to hurt you, or anything that I've said hurt you? If she says yes, then you ought to ask her, sweetheart, what was it? And you find out most of the times what she thought she heard, that's not what you meant at all. But that's just the way our minds work. Our minds are just totally different. And so the best way to handle that is to say, ask her, like I say again, ask her, have you done anything to hurt her today? If she say yes, ask her, what is it? Okay, wives, then you don't get in an argument now. You say, well, you said A, B, and C, or you did D, E, and F today, and it hurt my feelings. I didn't like it. Okay, now, you know, I know what you want to do. You want to come back, but you don't. You say, okay, sweetheart, I am so sorry. I did not mean to hurt you. I am so sorry. Would you please forgive me? And you got to forgive him. And then it goes in reverse. And then the wives ask the same thing. And so you'll find out, sometimes it'll just make you so angry. You say, how in the world did you get that out of that? But you can't, you got to ask. And then, and here's the good part about it. What you have to do is, they call the sender and the receiver. We had this in our church. They taught us how to be counselors, not counselors, but how to help people through the situation. And what you have to learn how to do is to listen to the person. Now, this forces you to listen. So here's what you have to do. Let me give you an example. One of the couple in our class, they said, we'll go first. Okay, the lady was a nurse. She told her husband, she says, sometimes when I have to work late and it's dark and I don't want to stop no place to go to the bathroom, so I rush home to go to the bathroom. And when I get in the house, all the lights are out. And then I go to the bathroom and you left Cecita. She said, that makes me angry. Okay, normally he would say, turn the lights on, you know, let the sink down. But you can't say that. And then she got to say, did she get what I said? he has to repeat back to her verbatim every word that she said. What is this doing? That forces you to listen, because if you don't listen, you're not going to know. And then you can come back and he'll say, did I get it? She'll either say yes or no. If she said no, then she would have to repeat it again. And you keep doing that until you can repeat exactly what he or she said. That's how you communicate. And I'm telling you, people, it works. Me and my wife use it now. I'll say something to her and I'll stop. I said, honey, what did you just understand me to say? And I'm telling you, folks, most of the time it's completely missed. And so, but if you try that, if you do that, you will see that it really, really, really does work. And we have a lot of fun with it. But this woman, she was really hot because of that. So what he said is, okay, I almost forgot to put this in there. This is important. What he said is, okay, sweetheart, it was not my intent to leave the stool up, the seat up. Okay, I just turned all the lights out, and I did not do that to hurt you. And then she would say, okay, then you can talk about it. And you say, okay, I'm going to keep that in mind. From now on, I'm going to remember that. That's how you stay out of that kind of trouble, because it's easy to get into. So learn to do that. Learn to sit down to the table and ask. Ask your wife or your husband, again, have I hurt you today in any kind of way? And if it come up a negative, then you guys deal with the thing until you get it straightened out. Because if you don't, you go to bed angry, and that is bad. We do not want to go to bed angry. Okay, just a couple more, and this is really, really good. I've always asked myself this question. How let me see. How does a baby live in a woman's womb? They're not breathing. If they was breathing, then when they come out, the doctor wouldn't have to smack them so they can breathe. They're in this womb, and I'm sure it's hot in there, and it's full of fluid. If you don't believe it's full of fluid, when a woman get ready, how she knows she's ready to deliver, they would say her water broke. And all of that water would come out of the womb. But that baby has been in there. Why didn't the baby drown? Well, you say it didn't breathe. But then how do you stay alive and not breathing? And I look at that and I say, God, you are awesome. How did this happen? And this is the one that really gets me. And I want y'all to really hop on this one. How did I become a human? Oh, I'm finished. You church folks finished. I'm finna lose some of y'all because he's talking nasty. I'm not talking nasty. I'm talking facts. Okay? It's really, just think about it. Every month, when a woman's a certain age, she has what we call menstrual cycle. Okay? A sac of blood attaches itself to her womb, on the inside of her womb. And it's there. It's not her blood. It attaches, it's going to be the baby's blood, and it sits there. If her egg is fertilized, then that blood is going to go into the baby. But if there's no fertilization, then she's going to have what they call a period. That blood is going to run out of her. And I think, sometimes I say, God, but look at me. I got some eyes. I got a nose. I got ears. I got fingers. I got parts of my body. I mean, how did that do? How? And then I really did some research on it. This is heavy, you guys. A woman creates an egg every month, just in case she gets pregnant. Okay, the man have testicles that create sperm, and a woman, she only have one chromosome. They call it chromosome, and it's a X chromosome. But a man have X and Y chromosomes. And so what happens is the when it comes time for them to get ready to have a baby, the sperm goes from the man through the urethra, and it goes and it fertilizes the egg. Now I want you to know something. You cannot see sperm, and I know what some of y'all will say. Yes, you can, but what you see is what the sperm rides in. You cannot see a sperm with your natural eye, or you can't see the egg, a woman's egg. But that sperm goes in and it fertilizes that egg. Now, if it's true, the man has X and a Y sperm, and it's millions of them, and they're all running, trying to fertilize one egg. If the X chromosome get there first, it's going to be a girl. If the Y gets there first, it's going to be a boy. And you might ask, okay, what about twins? Okay, there are two kinds of twins. There's a twin where they are identical. And that is because when the egg fertilized, it somehow splits. And that's why they are identical. It's really one person in two. But now sometimes what would happen, there's a malfunction. The woman will produce two eggs. And so the two eggs, both of them are fertilized. And they call them twins, but they don't even look alike necessarily. And sometimes it can be a boy and a girl because it was two eggs. She usually only produced one, got fertilized by two different sperm. And here we come. Just something in my sperm that would make my baby have dark skin. It's other nations, some would have, their eyes would be different. Some, the color would be different. But it's all the same thing. And you know what? And that is really a miracle. I mean, it's just a miracle. I know when I took my wife with our first child, I was scared to death. I didn't know what to expect. You know, there she was just blown. I mean, you could see the veins in her. I mean, her navel wasn't even there anymore. I said, oh my God. Well, how can this happen? It comes from a sperm fertilizing the egg, and here comes a human being. Here we are. Here we are. Sometimes think about that. Try to figure out, how did that happen? How does that woman, and in labor, what causes the pains is her pelvis, her bones move back. It has to move back some so the baby can come out. And sometimes they are 12-pound, 14-pound babies, big babies, but they can come through that opening. Folks, and don't think I'm being nasty. I love it. It's God. God did it. And right now, so many church folk are really having trouble. I'm talking about married folk now. I'm not talking about you single folks. I'm talking about married folk. They're having trouble because you can't reach, you can't even mention the word sexuality. And yet that's how we all get here. We all get here. Okay? Now I know they got the artificial stuff. I ain't talking about that. But God made that man like he made it and that woman. And he said, I want you to replenish the earth. And in other words, God was saying, I'm not going to come down here like he made Adam. I'm not going to come down here and make a man every time I want to increase the earth. I'm going to fix you two, man and woman. You're going to come together and you're going to replenish the earth. And the part that get me is how in the world, how in the world do we, I don't know. It just befalls me. How do we become who we are and what we are? How does that sperm fertilize in an egg? How can that be a human being? And we come out here and we can talk, we can run, we can play. And it's awesome, folks. It's awesome. I know sometimes I get so much in my mind, I can't get it all out. But it's really awesome. And you think about God. Think about God. Just think about him. And church folk, God made us the way we are. It was God's plan for man and woman to come together to create children. Why is that so dirty? Why do you think that is so nasty? The Bible talks about sexuality. It talks about it. God made us, made you a woman, you are a man. Y'all come together and replenish this earth. That's how you got here. All right. Okay. Enjoyed again talking to you. Went a little bit over time, but that's all right. I do one last line I do want to put on there, but again, it's along the line of what we've been talking about, our bodies that we are fearfully and wonderfully made. Have you ever thought about why do we have fingernails and why do we have toenails? And so I'm gonna go on the internet and see what they say about it. That was real simple. It was what I thought it was. Your toenails are there to cover, to protect the toe. But I never thought about the fingernails. I knew they was here to protect our fingers. But just think about this. And what they were saying on the internet, they were saying how the fingernails is made to pick up things. To pick up things. If you didn't have no fingernails, you go down there and try to pick up something. You might be able to pick up something, but try to pick a penny up that's laying on the floor. You do that with your fingernails. And it's just a lot of things that we do because our fingernails are there to help us out. Without any fingernails, you wouldn't be able to do a lot of things. I know that sounds so simple, but I'm telling you, if you don't believe it, get rid of them and watch what happens to you. Okay, folks. Love you and appreciate you. Have a great night. Good Lord willing. See you next Monday, 6 o'clock. Night, night.